You know, it's getting easier and easier and easier for me to find entries for this series. Just, and most of them I'm finding off of videos in posts on Twitter. That's the craziest part. So I want y'all to go ahead and listen to this 5 seconds from a full minute video clip of this individual right here and what they have to say about heterosexual black men.
I made a clear distinction when I said what I said. You're being willfully dense. I said y'all because I am not a heterosexual black man. If you came here to be coddled, I'm the wrong person for you. I mean, look around you. Everybody else is progressing except for the heterosexual black man, and y'all literally do not care. Black gay people are progressing. Black women are the highest, the most educated in the whole country. Black trans people are getting their recognition. What are y'all doing? Y'all still playing by the same ass rules and you not going no fucking where. Like, enough with the fucking coddling. Everybody can't woo 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 y'all. Like, y'all want everybody to be a yonla for y'all. Some of the shit is just y'all fucking fault. Get the fuck up and get off your ass. I mean, what do y'all do for yourself besides make podcasts and talk shit about everybody else in the fucking community? Y'all are so fucking divisive and dense. It's like if y'all can't assert yourself above somebody, then y'all just cannot operate.
Okay, so I'm not sure if that's their username on TikTok, but keep that in mind just in case. But now we got to dissect. Now, if y'all remember, one of the recent bed bucking videos I did was on that Kenny Walden, and he came and talked at black men, heterosexual black men, in the same tone as this one did right here. And you hear all the talking points. I'm going to go back and we're going to dissect what this individual just said, as we usually do. But you see the venom and the vitriol that just spews from their mouths when they're talking about heterosexual black men? It's thick. So thick you could cut it with a knife. But I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go and dissect what this person said.
I made a clear distinction when I said what I said. You're being willfully dense. I said y'all because I am not a heterosexual black man.
Okay, so let's start there. He says that we are being willfully dense or obtuse. Basically, I always like to say being willfully ignorant or obtuse is basically the same thing. He said, I said y'all because I was addressing heterosexual black men. So there's the divide right there. He has separated based on sexual orientation. He says heterosexual over here, academy here. But here's the thing. Here's the one thing we both have in common. We're both black men at the end of the day. And that can't be divided. But he has made a clear distinction that there's separation. And you know what's so crazy? The Blackarin does the same thing. She separates herself from the group as well. See, this is the part we're talking about. Before we get anything, like should we get any tangible, this needs to be addressed. And I'm glad that they're doing this all out in the open, because we are keeping a mental picture of all of this, a mental file, if you will, of all of this in which they are talking about right now. Just keep that in mind. Keep these names and these faces and what they have said clear in your head, so we can have a understanding of who they are and what they are.
If you came here to be coddled, I'm the wrong person for you.
No one came to you to be coddled. We just addressing the BS that's in the filth that's leaving your mouth. That's not us trying to be coddled. Who would want to be coddled by this?
I mean, look around you. Everybody else is progressing except for the heterosexual black man, and y'all literally do not care.
He said everyone else around you is progressing except the heterosexual black man. And notice he said everybody. That means all groups, all other genders, even those who are confused about their own. Shoot, even the dog is progressing more than the heterosexual black man. This guy literally is a bed bucking and a Blackarin molded into one. Actually, he probably leans more towards the side of a Blackarin, because this is all of her talking points. But it also mixes in with the white feminist talking points as well, and her male counterpart, her PC male counterpart. And he took all of that, got on TikTok, and decided to make this.
Black gay people are progressing. Black women are the highest, the most educated in the whole country. Black trans people are getting their recognition.
I think he said black gay men are progressing. Let me go back.
In the whole country.
Let me go back.
Black women are, except for the heterosexual black man, and y'all literally do not care. Black gay people are progressing.
He said black gay people are progressing.
Black women are the highest, the most educated in the whole country.
He said black women are the most and highest educated in the whole country.
Black trans people are getting their recognition.
And black trans are getting their recognition. So he has put black gay men, black women, and black trans above heterosexual black men. So right there, he has carved out a hierarchy. Keep in mind, this is his own hierarchy, because we know that this is, if this was really carved out, it would not go in any order in which he created. But he has created a hierarchy in the positioning to which black men are at the bottom, as if society doesn't already have us there. And keep in mind, again, this is still a black man, but because he's in the academy, he feels he has risen above it all. If y'all remember, a while ago, it was probably well over a year ago, so some of you weren't even here. But those of you who were here, I had said how you have a lot of people who are in that academy who feel that they are some of the best and brightest minds since Einstein. And they feel like they know every single thing. They feel like they are the smartest people in the room. It's way too many of them. They feel that in order to reach their certain level of intelligence, something must be wrong with you if you're a heterosexual black man. They probably would get mad at me for even talking about this and ask me if I care. This person actually sat up here and said, black gay people, black women, and black trans are more progressive than heterosexual black men, as if we do not move, as if we aren't progressive ourselves. And again, this is a black man, but he has separated himself from the group in order to bash heterosexual black men and wonder why we do not support their cause. But we'll be the same ones to say we're this and that phobic. Let's go by their definition of phobic, which is not even the true definition. After hearing this, why wouldn't we be? After hearing this and so much more, why wouldn't we be? Why would we want to support you? You've given us reasoning after reasoning after reasoning, time after time after time again, of why we shouldn't. So we're supposed to just accept abuse and just still support it, or still support the abuser? No. They said the definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over again and continue to fail. Well, we as heterosexual black men over here are not insane. Let's continue.
What are y'all doing? Y'all still playing by the same ass rules, and you not going no fucking where.
Oh, he sounded aggressive right there. Y'all still playing by the same effing rules and not going anywhere. He put a little bit more bass in his voice when he said that. He went from a little soft spoken, and then got a little bit more aggressive. Kind of reminds you of Kenny Walden when he, towards the end of his little rant, his little minstrel rant, he got a little bit more aggressive. Notice they get so. It's like, what did heterosexual black men do to these individuals? I'm not sure. And if one of them, if someone did something to you, you need to take that out on them. Now, here's the thing. This guy got up on his little platform and decided to say this, but I bet you he wouldn't go and say it to even one of their faces of what he said. And we know he won't. That's why he got on here and said it. But let's be real here. A lot of these individuals do this kind of stuff for attention. They do this for attention because they know people going to talk about it. The only reason I'm talking about it is because I have a series of videos that this falls into a category of. Of course, I break it down into little sectors or whatever, just like I'm going to have this one in its own sector as well. Because this is bigger than just him, quote unquote, calling out heterosexual black men. This is a black man who has literally separated himself from the group just so he could be on the side where he thinks he's winning. Again, at the end of the day, he is a black man. If he got pulled over by the police today and profiled, then do you think they're going to care that you're in the academy? And I'll give him an example. Remember last year with that black man in Virginia, who was clearly in the academy and got pulled over and got treated not treated badly, not because of who he decides to lay up with, but because of the color of his skin. I guess he missed that part. But you know what? I hate to say what I'm about to say, but when people say stuff like this, like when he says like this, I think more of them need to have that wake up call treatment in order for them to understand their placement in society. It does not matter what your orientation is. It doesn't matter. Many black people would not care, but see, when you do stuff like this, then we got to call it out. I wonder if he called Ed Buck out in the same tone. I wonder if he even called out Ed Buck when those two men died in his apartment. Because I know two heterosexual black men who did, and we didn't, and they weren't made fun of, myself and Tariq Nasheed. As far as I know, was some of the only two at the time who called this thing out when mainstream media wasn't trying to talk about it. But they got all the smoke for us, and will continue, and always for some reason continue to do so, as if White Zaddy and Miss Ann could give a damn, because they don't. To them, you're just one big nigga, just like the rest of us. You're just a little bit more loud and extracurricular, might I add.
Like, enough with the fucking coddling. Everybody can't woo 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 y'all. Like, y'all want everybody to be a yonla for y'all.
Now, here's the thing. He said, and stop expecting everyone to coddle y'all. But the three people that he mentioned, black women, black people, black gay people, and black trans, some of y'all be looking for people to coddle y'all. A lot of you do some of the biggest woe is me performances I have ever seen. Outside of Karen and even some of these up and coming white people, PCM, who are saying they're so oppressed now for whatever reason, which is dumb just hearing that. And then now you have this guy saying that we are out here basically begging to be coddled and doing a whole woe is me thing. I don't know many heterosexual black men that are doing that. But I do see a lot coming from that academy. I can't tell you how many signs I've seen where people say trans rights are human rights. Isn't that a woe is me thing? You're begging to be seen. You're begging to be coddled by the dominant society. I mean, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. And see, they don't expect us to call this out. And they'll, like I said, they'll claim that this being called out is quote unquote phobic. This and phobic that.
Some of this shit is just y'all fucking fault. Get the fuck up and get off your ass.
Some of this is just your effing fault. Get up and get off of your ass. Like I said, if you took all the extras out of his voice and polished it up a little bit, you could close your eyes and swear this was coming out of the mouth of a PC individual. I would like to know, has anybody who's in the academy who is PC, Asian, Hispanic, or anything that's not black got on TikTok or any other video sharing platform and spewed this kind of nonsense to their own men, to the heterosexual men in their group. I'm waiting. The reason why I say that is because way too often I see it come from black men in the academy who do that towards us. That's why I said that this, you know what? It just dawned on me. Now I know what I'm going to make the thumbnail title of this video. I'm not going to say it on here, but I'm going to wait till y'all actually see. And y'all be like, Taurean, that was perfect. It's like, it's just amazing how the stuff comes to mind when it just clicks to me. But yeah, I'm just curious. Does anybody else notice that any academy members from other groups, they don't call their men out like that, the heterosexual men of their group out like that? Because at the end of the day, they still don't get on code. This is some extremely off code behavior. And I bet you, like Kenny Walden, he voted for Kamala the Chameleon. I wouldn't be surprised. And I just be saying to myself, who hurt you? Like, and if you can point out who did, why don't you go and address them? See, that's the thing. When one black person or one black man, one heterosexual black man hurts someone, that someone takes it out and throws that blanket onto every black man because they can't get to the one that they really want to. Listen, whoever hurt you, if someone hurt you, because sometimes no one even hurt them, they just join along for the ride on the bandwagon, then you need to go and take that up with them, because we over here didn't do nothing to you. We don't even know you, but we know enough to know that you are a traitor talking like this. And like I said, many black people don't even have a problem with those in the academy. But when you have people like this, that has to be called out, because they're spewing very negative, stereotypical rhetoric. I got 15 seconds left, and I have a feeling I'm going to be pausing this thing at least 3 or 4 more times before I get to 55 seconds.
I mean, what do y'all do for yourself besides make podcasts and talk shit about everybody else in the fucking community? Y'all are so fucking divisive and dense.
Okay, listen to that. He said, what else do y'all do but make podcasts talking about other people in the community and being so divisive? What, sir, what did you just do in this video? It may not be a podcast, but you got up on your platform and you became divisive because you separated yourself, because you are a member of the academy, and you separated yourself from heterosexual black men when you said y'all, as if we were another group of people, as if we was another race or another being or another entity. So you literally just contradicted yourself because you were divisive. See what I mean? They telling themselves every single time. That's why I have to go back and decipher this stuff, because if you don't, you'll miss it.
It's like if y'all can't assert yourself above somebody, then y'all just cannot operate.
Okay, that's the end. And he just contradicted himself again. He says it's like if y'all can't assert yourself above somebody, then you just won't cooperate. Keep in mind, this guy created a hierarchy where he said black gay men, black trans, and black women are more progressive than black men. So he contradicted himself twice within like 2.5 seconds. He first said that we're divisive, even though he referred to heterosexual black men as y'all, as in he was separating himself from us because he's in the academy, even though he's a black man himself in America. Then he came back in the following statement and said that we elevate. Hold on, let me go back because I want to make sure I get this right.
Y'all are so fucking divisive and dense. It's like if y'all can't assert yourself above somebody, then y'all just cannot operate.
He said if we just cannot assert ourselves above anybody else, then we cannot operate. So he did, like I said, that was his second contradiction. They should have let this thing run if there was any more to be put on there, but you know, TikTok, they have a time limit. So that was probably the end of his little minstrel rant that he wanted to go ahead and display. Like I said, every single talking point made him sound just like a lot of these Black Karens out here. Like, really. That's what I got from this individual. Like I said, they telling themselves every single time. All the time. But this is exactly why they don't get that much support from us. Because like I said earlier, why would we support a group of people who sound like that? And don't get it twisted. Not every member of the Academy talks like this, but it's almost like the snake thing. I'm not going to reach into a snake pit in hopes to pull out the one that I think is non-poisonous, especially when many of them in there are. This guy comes from a snake pit filled with a lot of poisonous and venomous snakes. We don't have time to try to figure out which one to grab that will not bite us and possibly kill us from the venom that they secrete into our system that could kill us slowly or fast. We don't. This whole video that he did was divisive. The minute he said y'all, the minute he gave his little explanation in the first 10 seconds, that's when it was divisive. And they're going to come at the end and saying we're the ones that try to be divisive and we're trying to assert ourselves above. But he put three people within a people above black heterosexual men. Like I said, he said black women, black trans, and black gay men or people are more progressive than black heterosexual men. Then gonna say that we try to assert ourselves above them. You put us at the bottom. What are you talking about? I swear we live in a world filled with a bunch of weirdos, and this is just one of many of those weirdos, unfortunately. Sometimes I hate having to get on here and decipher this stuff, but sometimes I find it to be therapeutic because I feel like I've come a long way when it comes to picking apart talking points such as these, because it's so easy. You know why? Because not only is it so predictable, but it's so easy to do. They do not vary from the script. They all sound the same. They sound like a Stepford wife. They sound like robots, and kind of in a way operate like them too. But I'm going to go ahead and end the video on that note. Another bed bucking, another day.